Hikaru goes full B3 cowboy on move 1. It's titillating Tuesday, my favourite time of the week, and this clash is epic. We've got Hans Niemann playing like an absolute chess machine lately. He's got the black pieces and playing Hikaru. Does he need an introduction? But the best thing is they were playing for all the marbles. Winner of this game, and there is a winner, then wins the entire early title Tuesday 21st of January. This is some epic game, 120 odd moves. Let's go, baby. We get d5 on the board from Hans. This bishop fianchettos, knight f6, and now some funny business begins. d3. Watch what Hikaru does in the opening here. Hans just gets his bits out, and now Hikaru defends his brother knight. The fourth one gallops into the game. Lots of pony noises, and get this, pawn e3, a kind of hippopotamus thing at play. Love when Hikaru dabbles in this stuff. What does Hans do to fight back? He erects the big black center. That's a powerful weapon to use. h3 now puts the question to the bishop. We get captures, and Hikaru, is he really a guitar master or a very naughty boy? Takes with the knight here. Surely you had to take with the queen according to the all-powerful engine. But seriously, of course, this one looks so natural, even though it's given the question mark. You hit the pawn here, and this is a good lesson. Don't push those pawns. You know, if you've got the center, hold the center like the 300 Spartans against that massive army. Was it the Persians, right? Don't push forward, create a chink in the defense, just defend, suffocate your opponent's pieces. They can't get anywhere. We see g3 from Hikaru, a5 now played, and sometimes you want to go a3, meet a4 with b4, but of course that's not possible here. So a4, very logical. Now we see castles and Hikaru. This is what he practices, a bit of pony maneuvering for with Fabi, with Ali Reza. It's moments like this to re-maneuver this one. We get rook e8. This bishop Brian-Cheddar's into the game. Queen d7, castles, rook a d8, and look at that picture of harmony in Hans's position. They're blasting through the center. Queen e2 and bishop c7. That is some pro chess. Just opening the eyes of the heavy pieces. We get rook a d1. Are we going to get a rook tangle? h6, and now this is the moment where you have to complete the rook tangle, but Hikaru doesn't do it. Boo. And some of his fans think he's actually despairing now at his position when he plays knight b1 because he's a bit cramped. Is this a sign that he wants to resign and he's actually setting up the board already for the next game? Who knows? Well, after knight e7 we find out he doesn't resign. He plays on here and he pushes forward with e4. Just look at the reaction of some of his fans. What a game we've got on our hands now. We get knight c6 in response, and now an awesome move. c3 sets up a massive bathtub, but Hans, he interrupts it here, pushes forward, pulls the plug out the tub. Hikaru goes knight a3, and we get captures here on c3. And after bishop recaptures, you've not got one, but two backwards pawns here. I mean, it makes you want to pull a face like this. The kind you pull when you get stuck to your leather chair on a hot day. You're completely naked, no one's in the house. You try and stand up and you just peel off the back there. Not very pleasant. Back to the game here. Knight d4 was played. Now you could chop it off immediately, but instead we see the move of queen b2 covering that b3 pawn and knight h7. More epic pony maneuvering on the way, and this is the moment, right? I've got to talk to you about the absolutely fantastic, yes, they made a pony maneuvering game. Please do have a listen to this. Love this one so much. Now, how often do I talk about the horsey maneuvering? Well, you're not going to believe it. The chess gods have answered my prayers with this incredible new game, Hungry Horses. It's literally made for practicing chess visualization, but using the pony, horsey, knight, stallion, call it what you will. You can embark on a quest, unlock achievements, simply relax and practice, or ramp it up a notch with the time competitive daily puzzle. And if that doesn't keep you occupied, there's a variety of different configurable features that allow you to tailor the experience exactly to your taste. Beautifully simple but incredibly designed, Hungry Horses is not only fun, but it'll also help you improve your chess through visualization and is not one to be missed. So do not delay. Check out the link in the description. Try it today completely free, and if you want to go ad-free, you can do so for barely a cup of coffee. Give it a whirl, you're going to absolutely love it. Now back to the chess. So with hands about to maneuver, Hikaru chops on d4, the queen recaptures. Does Hikaru go for the end game? No, he keeps the ladies on. And if I didn't mention it already, sorry, Hikaru has to win this game. He's half a point behind Hans. Hans just needing the draw. That's crucial in Hikaru's decisions here, his structure, everything. So we see b6 played. The knight hits c4, knight g5, now pushed back into e6, great maneuvering, and bishop h3 prepares to do this, takes, the rook lifts into the game. Why did we see the exchange of those pieces? Well, this bishop was looking a bit dead. This knight was about to become a monster. The queens now do a little dance onto the e-file, and knight e3. It's headed for the promised land. Remember where this one came from. Here, back, a3, c4, e3, and on its 8th move, it's about to hit the square. Sometimes you got to spend some time with the knights. You know, they have to get in short range, land the hooks, but when they get there, boy, are they dangerous. Knockout punch. We now see king h7, king g2, just teasing. When's it coming? Queen d7 played, and bang, that one is no longer a donkey. It's an absolute stallion. Look at it. An octopus that Stoctopus can be proud of. But watch this from Hans. This is incredible. Rook d6, queen f3, and look at this. All those days out at the beach with Magnus paying off because he's playing like the GOAT. He takes on d5 here. Sacrifices an exchange. What does he get for it? Just a measly pawn. But he's still stuck with a bad bishop. Even the queens leave the board, a la Magnus. But what's Hans saying here?
Chess speaks for itself.
Yes, I've got the extra pawn, but more than that, all the files are closed. Show me one open file for your rooks. You haven't got it. Best you've got is a couple of half open files. And this is the fascinating thing. He's saying, do your worst. Try and break me down here. I'm going to sit solid here. Try and get through. Try and open lines. Now the pawn is first defended, but watch Hikaru in a minute. Very sneaky sausage. First Hans brings in the king. He's safe on these dark squares, well, and the light squares too. He's just safe on his side of the board. King e3, bishop b8. I'm highlighting this move simply to say we're not going to stop on every question mark or miss here. We'll be here all day. I know you've got better things to do. I haven't. I'm a massive chess loser, but I'm sure you have. So we're going to keep the game flowing, and look at that move. Offers b3. Why doesn't Hans take it? Well, this is Hikaru's point, just opening lines, going for it. Now, because you've got rook b4, this is very far from obvious that this is good for white. It's just a level-ish game, you know, according to the engine. But hey, a5 is coming, you know, you try and activate. Obviously, you're dropping this pawn, got to be careful. It's craziness, but it's what Hikaru wants. He's got to win. So Hans doesn't take, just bishop d6. So he just holds the fort now against Hikaru here, just not trying to do anything too special. And Hikaru's the one who's having to play these crazy moves, right? You know, do you want to take here? I mean, there's a structure only a mother could love. Reminds me of that famous Fischer game back in the day. Fischer playing with black. Now, you could do this, but then okay, Hans attacks the pawns here, but Hikaru gets open lines. Hans just didn't want any part of it. He says, nope, I'm holding steady. I'm going to check you here, force the king back. This is a great move. Watch this. King f5, attacking the rook twice if you take the pawn here. So you have to move the rook. Now you take with check, force the king back, and you cemento the g7 pawn. Really, really nice. Hans doing a great job here. b5 is the best move apparently, but that again is just not in the spirit, right? Because you're opening lines for the rooks. Why would you do that? Weaken some pawns. Hans just waits instead. Rook e1, we get more moves. We're going to keep bouncing it around, progressing with the game here, because in a moment the tension hots up here. You can never really fully stop Hikaru invading. He gets it, hits the back rank on the e-file. He's in behind enemy lines, but Still, Hans is holding solid. This is a monster defensive piece, of course, but in just a moment, Hikaru finds a way to weave a web and create a crisis in the black position at this moment. Damn, I missed it. Let's go back one move. What should Hans have played here? Well, rook e7 was best, because this one down here is knocking on 7's door. So you have to actually cover it, because here's the key point. After rook e5, you can actually take this pawn. The bishop isn't defending it. The bishop is pinned to the king. And of course, white crashes through. That is game over. Everything collapses. But missed by Hikaru. They're both on seconds at this point. We get rook e1 played. Chewbacca's favourite move, the Wookiee one. But now after rook d5, Hans is still okay. Few more moves on the board. We see an exchange of prisoners here. The character of the position changing once more. King f5. And here's the amazing thing. You can take again, but still missed. It's just not on the radar. And in a moment, the game actually turns h5. Niemann suddenly running a past one there, a juicer juicing away. Rook h8 is best, but Hikaru plays the terrible f4. Why is it so bad? He's locked out his own rook here in the centre from the defence of the king side. This one can march in. It's what we now see on the board. Now actually Hikaru is in crisis mode himself. He chucks f5 just to land the check, bring that rook back into the game. Rook h8 best, but missed. King e2, g5. That's connected passes. This is terminal. Niemann doing a great job now. Look at the power of them. King e3, but here he blunders horrendously. Best move is h4. The march continues. We won't go down the rabbit hole. But what was played in the game? Pawn g3. Absolute stinker, because you can capture the pawn. Once again, the bishop is pinned. Quite surprising how not on the radar this tactic is for both players. You know, this one is constantly fake defending things. Crazy though, both missing it, low on time. Instead we get check. We get a little bit of bounce back and forth here. Of course, Niemann does want the draw. So why didn't he go this way? I forget. Maybe he saw the tactic. So he heads to the center of the board. Rook g4 is now played, and it's a terrible move. Best in this position was king f3 apparently to come over, do some blockading. But this was played. Now we get bishop d4 check, king f3, and there's a winning move here, rook h6. That one's then monumentally placed to just push this runner, but not played. We get check, swapping the rooks off the board. Bishop recaptures, brings it back to dead level, but remember, Niemann only needs to draw this game. So from a practical point of view, it's actually a very good move. How are you now going to drum up winning chances here? King e5. We see rook g4, king f5 here. What's the game plan now, Hikaru? King d5, rook e4. Hikaru's thrashing, but this is more shocking than the time that Kramnik tried to eat Daniel Naroditsky's leg. We see a huge blunder on the board here. Hans Niemann, he plays bishop e5. Absolute stinker, because takes is played. That is not the kind of crumbly cheese you want on the board. Suddenly, this is no longer a draw. This is a loss, because watch how the white king now creeps into the position. You just can't avoid it. Bishop giving ground. Everything now just flowing backwards, faster than my hairline here. Check is played, and you've reached a moment of no return. Because if you come this way, played in the game, you block the bishop's defense of the pawn. If you go this way, well then king e6 comes, and you're just running out of squares. You know, here's some sample lines. Here you get mated. If you come back here, then again you can check, and you force the king to block the bishop's defense, pawn drops, and so on and so forth. So this was played in the game. The pawn drops, and now it's a mop-up job. Hikaru just bringing the king round all the way around the back, about to mop up pawns. So Niemann throws one to open the bishop, open the king, but it's absolutely futile. Resistance is futile, as the Borg would say. The game is open here, or over, I should say. Bishop drops, and this is where we see resignation. Nothing to say. Let's see you do this, blah, blah, blah. Away you go. You make the knight, you make the bishop, you do a fancy checkmate. This was the end of the game, 124 moves, and Hikaru takes the tournament by half a point. Wow, Niemann's getting close. He beat Jan Nepomniachtchi. Great game there. Hope you enjoyed this one. A little break from the Tartar Steel action. Do check out Hungry Horses. So much fun. And don't forget to subscribe to never miss a game. Cheers.